Arin always sat at the desk by the window in the back of the classroom because there was peace there. The others always left that desk empty, maybe because it was a bit out of the way, maybe because it wasn't the first seat they would notice. But for Arin, that spot felt safe. He wasn't the kind of person who wanted to stand out. He just wanted to focus on the lesson and get through the questions. However, Arin was never the brightest student. While others would solve a question in seconds, Arin could spend minutes staring at it, struggling to make sense of it. To everyone else, questions were just problems to solve quickly. But to Arin, each question felt like an obstacle, each solution a fleeting victory. When the teacher called on him, Arin often felt overlooked. His classmates would laugh when he hesitated, taking longer than them to answer. At home, his parents were always worried about his grades, pushing him to study harder. But no matter how hard he tried, success always seemed just out of reach. One day, after the bell rang, Arin lingered in class, staring at his test paper and gazing out the window. Every thought seemed to get louder in his head. As he stared outside, feeling more frustrated by the minute, the janitor, Mr. Elric, entered the room. "Are you okay, Arin?" Mr. Elric asked gently. Arin looked up, his frustration spilling out. "I'm just working so hard, but nothing is changing. I guess it's just not meant to be." Mr. Elric smiled warmly and said, "Come with me. I want to show you something." He pointed toward the large oak tree outside the window. "Do you see that tree? 20 years ago it was just a broken stump. A lightning strike hit it and the winds knocked it down. People thought it wouldn't survive. But look at it now. It's standing tall, not because it was rushed to grow, but because it simply took its time." Arin looked at the tree, trying to grasp the lesson. Mr. Elric then pulled out a crumpled piece of paper from his pocket and handed it to Arin. On it, there were words written in bold letters. "The quiet ones don't fail. They listen, learn, and one day they'll surprise everyone." Mr. Elric looked at Arin and said, "Come back early tomorrow. Sit at that same desk. But this time, don't see yourself as a failure. Accept that you're growing. Your journey doesn't need to be fast. It just needs to be steady." The next day, Arin arrived early. Things didn't change immediately, but something inside him shifted. He didn't suddenly have all the answers, but he started paying attention in a different way. He stopped focusing on the speed of his peers and began taking things one step at a time. Arin now sat at the same desk by the window, not to hide, but to grow. He realized that learning wasn't just about finding answers. It was about trusting the process, allowing himself time to understand, and letting himself grow in his own way. Years went by. Arin never became the top student, but something bigger happened. He became the student who never gave up. He became the student who learned to think deeply, to slow down, and to trust that success would come, even if it was slow. Sometimes it's the ones who take their time who shape the future. One day, a new student entered Arin's school. He was quiet, anxious, and had trouble making friends. No one sat next to him, but Arin, sitting at the window desk, noticed him. He motioned for him to join him. The new student hesitated, but eventually sat down next to Arin. Arin smiled and handed him the crumpled piece of paper. The new student read the words aloud. "The quiet ones don't fail. They listen, learn, and one day they'll surprise everyone." Sometimes Slowing down is more meaningful than rushing forward. Listen, grow, and trust in your own pace.